Hi everyone, my name is Justin, and this is my AEP 858 case study called Every Day Counts. To start off with, I'm going to summarize the case. So, what has happened or what is happening? So, Mr. Rhodes, a first year principal at Golden Oak High School, is addressing attendance issues that are impacting students and their education. After his first semester at Golden Oak, he identified 5 students and pulled their record for investigation. Based on his investigation and data analysis, it has come to his attention that all community stakeholders are involved in enabling student absenteeism. It was noted that the athletic director favors and then supports absences for varsity football players. School personnel are applying local school policies with personal discretion, and 2 or more teachers who are planning to retire are not reporting student absences consistently. It has also come to Mr. Rhodes' attention that the school counselor is playing a negligible role in increasing student attendance. Parents of students also seem to be unsupportive of strong attendance as well. The superintendent, Dr. Newman, is also concerned about attendance at Golden Oak High School and informed Mr. Rhodes that Golden Oak ranked last in attendance out of the whole school district. So let's continue on with the summarization of the case. So, when and where did all of this occur? The setting of the case study is at Golden Oak High School during the fall semester. Who is or might be involved or concerned about the situations? In this case study, there were several characters. So, the first being Mr. Rhodes, the school principal, Dr. Newman, the superintendent of the school district, and his main concern was about the instructional program, more specifically school attendance. There's also the athletic director, who has been at the school for 10 years and coached teams to 5 state championships. His really involvement with the concern of attendance rate seems to be low. Um, the next character is Karen, who is an 11th grade student. A little information on Karen. Karen missed several days of school first semester. Her freshman and sophomore year, she earned A's and B's. This year, her grades and quality of work have went down. Prior to the start of the school year, she got married. Tyrone is a 10th grade student. He's missed a total of 14 days during the first semester. He's a current National Honor Society student. The days Tyrone missed were because he accompanied his parents' business trips. His own room teacher is the one who approved his absences. Christina, who's a ninth grade student, and Christina has missed a total of 12 days, 4 days in a row during 3 different weeks. The days she missed were for church meetings. She received a note from her minister. Her homeroom teacher is the one who approved the absences. It is also important to note that Christina's algebra teacher has requested to meet with her parents because she missed 2 major exams and currently has a D in the class. Carl is a 10th grade student. He takes both traditional and vocational classes at Golden Oak High School. Carl randomly misses days in November. A truancy officer visited his home. His parents are not supportive of strong attendance and believes that his attendance is family business and not to be controlled by the school. Another important piece of information is that Carl's dad did not graduate high school and thinks that it would be okay if he didn't finish and chose to work with him. And lastly, John, who's an 11th grade student. John is a quarterback for the football team and suffered an injury that made him unable to play in the first 2 games. His physical therapist granted permission to play the rest of the season if he went to physical therapy. Physical therapy could only be scheduled Tuesdays and Thursdays afternoons from noon to 12 or 2:30. John also misses school because the athletic director requests that he goes home and rest on Friday afternoons during football season. Though he misses 3 afternoons a week, no teacher notes it in his record. Let's look at the legal and ethical issues involved with this case. So, has anyone been harmed by the decision of another? So, in my opinion, the students are at harm here because the teachers are not enforcing school rules, which are hindering their education, and parents are neglecting their responsibility to make sure that their children are attending school. And does it contravene with the law? Yeah, the school board policy and handbook in regards to attendance procedures. Teachers are excusing absences and allowing unexcused absences to happen with little to no consequence on the student. And then also the Kansas school, I researched the Kansas school compulsory attendance law states that any student under 18 of age is required to, by law, to attend school, and if such child is inexcusably absent therefrom on either 3 consecutive days or 5 or more days in any semester, the child is truant. So that is happening with Tyrone. Was there a breach of contract, and were the actions discriminatory or constituted harassments? So contract may have been breached, but further investigation should be had prior to deciding. I would investigate furthermore on the athletic director, school counselor, and homeroom teacher. So, in one sentence, what is happening? Golden Oak High School is experiencing attendance issues. So let's look a little closer at the facts and combine them all together here. So the people, Mr. Rhodes, Dr. Newman, the homeroom teachers, and then the students. The place, the community demographics, it's a majority of families are middle income. Some families do live in poverty and some are high income. There is a recent increase in diversity being Hispanic and Asian. And then most families work in a metropolitan area adjacent to the community. So that makes the commute between 1 to 2 hours, making it hard for them to be involved in their children's after school community. A closer look at Golden Oak High School, it serves 965 students served in grades 9 through 12. The extracurricular activities, there are several of them, 11 different sport teams, football being most dominant, 31 different school clubs, and there's low turnover rate among teachers. Most of the teachers are in their 10th year or more at that school, and they typically only add 1 to 2 teachers on each year. So now let's kind of prioritize this information. So, could the situation or decision be damaging to stakeholders or to the community? As we know, academic success is linked to consistent daily attendance. So, a school community who doesn't support strong attendance is damaging to the students' future. What individuals and groups have an important stake in the outcome? In my opinion, all community stakeholders and all school stakeholders. So, the principal, superintendent, parents, teachers, and uh, parents, teachers, and the students. Have all the relevant stakeholders been consulted? I don't believe so. I think there should be more consultation with teachers, students, counselors, athletic directors. I think just gathering more data and more information, maybe some perspective data to see what kind of their viewpoint on the school is. So, can I learn more about the situation? There were several questions that I had when I was reading these situations involving the students. There was a lot of red flags in my opinion. So, are any of these students involved in any activities besides John? If not, I would try my best to get these students involved in some sort of school club or activity, because we know that creating a family or creating community has a huge benefit and impact on students. So if they're able to get involved in something, they may be more likely to want to come to school. So why did the counselor never follow up with Karen's parents or notify the principal of her situation, knowing that Karen recently became married as a junior in high school? Definitely want to just make sure that she has the support she needs in order to stay and remain healthy. So why did the homeroom teacher excuse Tyrone's absent when policy states that permissions should have been decided by the principal? Is she aware of the policy? So, knowing, is this homeroom teacher a new teacher that doesn't know the policies or procedures? And if that's the case, what kind of professional development or training might she need? Also, what is the district's policy on makeup work? Why did Christina's homeroom teacher accept an unexcused absence note from someone other than her parents, knowing that it was from the minister? Um, is kind of concerning to me, because does that mean that her parents were or were not aware of the situation? Is the principal following through with the truancy process for Carl? I know documentation and letters need to be sent home to parents. So, did those things happen? Just making sure that the truancy process is being followed correctly. Why did John's afternoon teachers not note his absences? Are they aware of the physical therapy and the fact that the athletic director is requesting him not be there on Fridays? Do any of the students have the same teacher who is neglecting policy, or are all they different teachers? Several times it was the students' homeroom teachers. I'm wondering if it's the same homeroom teacher that is committing these kind of actions. Or if it's across the board, the whole staff, that's different. So, do I know enough to make a decision? I think there is enough information for me to make a decision and create a plan of action. So, what are the possible options? So, first option would be to just take no action, continue to monitor the attendance. Hopefully, it fixes itself, but make no decisions to rectify it. My comprehensive action plan, though, starts with reviewing the current district policies and student handbooks with staff regarding attendance. After that review takes place, staff will be required to sign that they have read and agreed to the following policies. Also, reviewing the current student handbooks, focusing on attendance with all students. I think having assemblies talking about attendance is important, especially if we are ranked last in the school district. Reaching out to social services and asking for support and working with families of students who have low attendance rates, and then review and revamp internal controls regarding absence procedures. So, areas that I would focus on in my comprehensive action plan would be all student absences will go through the attendance office. Approval of excused absences must be granted by building principal. Makeup work process. What is the process for makeup work and what does that mean for teachers? Anticipated absences and what does that mean for teachers? School activity related absences, specifically focusing on football. Teachers reaching out and communicating with parents about grades and attendance, making sure that that is happening. Intervention and discipline procedures such as meeting with school counselors, and then no longer accepting handwritten notes or emails or requiring phone calls or personal visits for absences. And then just another immediate intermediate option to consider, since attendance is so low at the school and you're wanting to create buy-in and create synergy around that, I thought it could be a neat idea to do a incentive for staff and students to increase the student rate. So this might look like setting a goal for the school to meet for an attendance rate, tracking attendance rate by month, and then maybe creating a goal to have the attendance highest attendance rate out of the district. So whatever that might look like, creating some sort of incentive to go along with it. So, looking at the options here, I feel like option one, taking no action, the pros of that, it does give you more time to further investigate what can be done regarding student attendance. However, the cons is student attendance will still be an issue and teachers will continue neglecting district policies. The pros of option two, well, it holds students and staff accountable for attendance policies and expectations. It also utilizes community services um, to support those who are in need. It also create stronger internal controls to help with consistency, and then all the benefits of increased student attendance, such as less likely to drop out, greater academic achievement, more prepared for college, career, and personal life. The cons, though, there will probably be pushback from staff, students, and families. The revamping of internal controls may take time and need prior approval from school board or superintendent. Which option did I go with? Option two was the best case scenario, or had the most likely to have a positive outcome. So, why did I choose this? The decision has the greatest positive impact on all stakeholders involved. Within this plan, all members who have an important stake in the outcome receive the proper training, information, and attention needed to rectify the situation. Has my decision, or how can my decision be implemented with the greatest care and attention to the concerns of all stakeholders? Prior to carrying out the plan, guidance and approval should be sought from the superintendent and potentially the school board. This plan will take time and resources to carry through. However, at the end of the day, the staff, students, and community members will benefit from the efforts for years to come. Have all stakeholders been consulted? As I mentioned earlier, the superintendent should be notified of the investigation and discoveries. Communication with the superintendent on the plan of action should also be had, and possible guidance on how to address the school counselor and athletic director. Do I feel like I've identified creative options? Yes. So I'll just go through real quick my implementation again, and just add a few more key pieces to it. So, like I said, I'm going to review the current district policies with staff and students. I want to make sure that when I do this, I share the importance of attendance and how it directly is connected with academic success. I want to reach out to community services such as social services. I want to get families connected to the services they need in order to be successful. I want to review and revamp internal controls regarding absence procedures, making sure to communicate with the school, or making sure the school counselor, secretary, staff, and principal, they should all be on the same page. I want consistency. And then creating a committee to review attendance rates and task them with attendance incentives for staff and students. What may happen, parents may be upset, pushback from staff and students might be more likely to drop out or not finish school. Those could be some consequences of this plan. But who needs to know about my plan? The superintendent, teachers, parents, students, and school counselor. Can this be dealt with on my own? Yeah, I think I could handle implementing this plan on my own. And then the hopeful possible outcomes would be increased attendance rates and greater academic success among students. Thanks for listening to my presentation.